On this edition of One-on-One, one of the more colorful individuals here in the area, Dr. Glenn Manceaux. But we're not only going to find out what makes him tick as a professional, we're going to find out the prankster side of Dr. Manceaux. He's a very colorful person. We're going to see what makes him tick tonight on One-on-One.
Last year, 1,000 people in our area died without the gift of hospice.
We're out to change that.
Hospice is a Medicare benefit providing end-of-life medical and spiritual comfort for your loved one in their final months.
And Haydale Memorial Hospice is the only locally owned hospice provider. Our goal is to make the transition peaceful and comfortable for our patient and their family. Haydale Memorial Hospice, completing the gift of life.
Even the very best heart care is of value only if you have access to it. So here's our pledge. If you have chest pains or symptoms of a heart attack, you'll be seen at any hour, day or night. If you don't have symptoms, but your doctor have concerns about your heart, you'll be seen within 48 hours. And even a routine heart check will normally be scheduled within a week. CIS is one of the largest, most advanced facilities in the South with an international reputation for treating heart disease. Call us to schedule your appointment.
Hi, I'm District Attorney Joe Waits Jr. We're blessed to live in an area abundant in natural resources. The laws are clear when it comes to shrimping in Terrebonne Parish. It is unfair for those who obey the law to be put at a disadvantage by those who don't obey the law. Be fair to your fellow shrimpers. Obey the law.
How can I lower my energy bill?
Insight.
Insight can definitely help.
Entergy's website that gives you energy-saving tips and tools.
You can compare energy use of those big screen TVs
before you buy.
See how raising or lowering your thermostat can save money on your bill.
Insight lets you see energy costs for a single appliance
or your entire house.
Log on to Entergy.com/save money.
See where your energy dollars go.
And save money.
You can lower your bill.
That's the power of people. Entergy.
As promised, Dr. Glenn Manceaux, and I can't say his name without laughing every now and then. We've had some fun over the years, haven't we?
We have had a lot of fun in this studio, Martin.
All right, but before we get to laughing and before we get to talking about all those times, we're going to go back down memory lane. For the audience tonight, where were you born? What's the earliest years also that you could remember and bring us back? Paint a picture for us.
Well, I was born out west, like I like to tell people of this area. Okay. And by that I mean
West Texas town of El Paso?
Actually southwest Louisiana, due west of here, in a little town called Kaplan, over by Abbeville and Lafayette. Born and raised, graduated high school there many moons ago.
Yeah, the same hometown as a guy named Sammy Kershaw, right?
Interestingly enough, Sammy and I rode the same school bus to school every day. Okay. School bus number 19, and our bus driver was Mr. Broussard.
Come on.
I was the first pickup on the bus, and Sammy was the last pickup on the bus. So
did you harmonize at all with him?
No, I'll tell you, Sammy was already a professional while he was in high school. He was performing with some of the local entertainers when he was 15 or 16 years old, and had a rather accomplished, polished voice even back then. So it was no surprise when, he had one hit after another and became pretty much a country music superstar.
What was Kaplan like? Bring us to that area, because you've been here so long. I don't ever envision you living anywhere else. So bring us back to Kaplan. What was it like?
Small community. While I was there, we had 3 traffic lights. Okay. Rice farming community. At one time, the Kaplan rice mill was the largest rice mill in the world. The community was started by a Jewish immigrant, Mr. Abram Kaplan, who donated a lot of the land where many of the schools, the hospital, a lot of the public buildings in the town were established. But a small school. When I was in high school, it was a AA high school. But a very friendly, typical Cajun community where a lot of Cajun French was spoken in almost every public facility in town. It was the primary language. English was more than likely the secondary language there.
A good Cajun French, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. And most of the time, my grandparents spoke Cajun French with me as well.
All right, very good. So, and I'm curious to find out what sort of shaped you, because like I said, I've known you in this area for quite some time, but big family? How many kids in your family?
4. I'm the oldest. 2 boys, 2 girls. The 2 girls are the youngest. And my dad was a school teacher.
Okay.
My mom was a religious education teacher.
So what happened to you?
Yeah.
You set yourself
I was
up
the
for
prodigal son, Martin.
All right, okay.
And yeah, so yeah, we had a great family life. Did a lot of family things together, close-knit family, and still very close to my siblings. And it was fun growing up in a small town. I don't know that I could have remained in a small town. Yeah. But I enjoyed then a lot of the things that I still enjoy now. Politics, leadership roles, and I honed some of those skills while I was in high school, and then of course also through college.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm asking anyway. Were you the class clown?
I did spend some occasions out in the hallway for what some of our teachers didn't think were maybe always appropriate responses to questions. Right. So yes, I did. I did get in trouble on occasion.
Did this just come because, and I've seen you over the years in groups. I've seen you on our Christmas shows where you help moderate, and you've had some classic one-liners, some that brought the Christmas program to an R rating status, pretty much. So did you pop off in class and make these comments because you saw an ability to make people laugh and you just tried to really one-up yourself after a while?
Absolutely, yes, no question. Probably some of it was boredom in class, and I enjoyed challenging some of my teachers, and I always enjoyed entertaining people, and it got me in trouble sometimes, but
when you go
it
back,
didn't keep me from making good grades and still holding some leadership positions.
Right. When you go back and see old teachers, do they go, Glenn Manceaux?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had some fun reunions with teachers, coaches, principals, band directors, all of those, absolutely. But I had good relationships with all of them.
All right. I want to sort of morph into the Terrebonne Parish because we can talk a lot about Kaplan, but they don't see us in Kaplan. They see us over here in this area, and this is where you've been. So how did you end up in Terrebonne Parish?
I did an internship rotation for physical therapy with Ken Barlow.
Okay.
And Ken asked me to come back and practice with his group.
Right.
And so that's how I ended up in Houma. And to this day, in fact, when I gave my acceptance speech becoming chairman of the board for the chamber, I listed him as one of my mentors.
Yeah.
And
he was my neighbor. I grew up in the neighborhood.
I know.
He was tough. I liked him. I loved him to death. He did my knee when I had knee surgery.
He was just a great teacher. He was a good clinician, and just a good people person. He taught me a lot of people skills and how to joke and kid around with patients and make patients feel at ease while you're working on them, sometimes for conditions that are rather uncomfortable to be tolerating some of the treatments we impose.
Put together a crew of top specialists, and you can do amazing things. Cardiac care at TGMC. It all begins here.
The Homestead, Homa's newest and most luxurious assisted living community.
I wanted companionship, and I made a lot of friends here. I knew a lot when I came here. Well, we have sort of a buddy system. We try to help each other. I just feel safe. Everything is secure. I had made up my mind I was coming.
For more information, visit thehomesteadweb.com or call us at 985-223-HOME. The Homestead on Cottage Drive. The lifestyle you deserve, the services you want.
What are we having for lunch?
The 10-piece combo, half regular, half boneless, original hot with fresh cut seasoned fries, homemade ranch, and a nice cold Coke. How about you?
New glider sandwiches.
The what?
New glider sandwiches. Perfectly delicious fillets of 100% white meat, sauced in my choice of 9 mouth-watering flavors, served on a freshly baked yeast roll. Oh my God.
I'll have what she's having.
The new glider sandwiches, only at Wingstop.
Hi, I'm District Attorney Joe Waits Jr. Every day we help businesses like this collect on bad checks.
Thanks, Joe, for helping us get our checks. Joe Waits gives us all our money.
Thanks, Joe, for getting our check.
I'd like to thank Joe Waits and his staff for doing a wonderful job collecting our NSF checks.
I'm District Attorney Joe Waits Jr. If you're issued a bad check, we can help.
So how did you decide that you were going to do chiropractic and physical therapy? Do they sort of go hand in hand?
Well, for me, they do, but when young people come to me and ask me about going in that direction, it's not one that I would encourage because it's in essence going to professional school twice.
Right.
And it's very challenging to try and go through a professional school curriculum one time, much less going through it twice. Right. I didn't choose to do that. I was a victim of headaches and suffered every day with headaches and saw a lot of different specialists. And by accident, I got evaluated by a chiropractor in Morgan City, Dr. Charlie Garisco, who ended up being my field doctor, the one who referred me to chiropractic school.
Okay.
And he began working with me, and I saw so much promise with my own headache problems. I became completely fascinated with the profession, did some research, and ended up moving my wife, and at the time, my one daughter, our oldest daughter, Casey, to St. Louis so I could work on my doctorate.
Wow. That's your wife from?
Kathy is from Gaydon.
Gaydon, okay.
Which is due west of Kaplan.
I knew it was close by, but
Absolutely.
I didn't know where.
Another Vermilion Parish girl.
Where they hunt geese and all, right?
Absolutely. All of the men in her family were professional hunting guides. In fact, her brother still is.
I'll be.
Yes.
Okay. So you make the trek to Terrebonne Parish. You become very successful, but you have this knack to try to get involved in all kinds of things, which you do. So we're going to touch on a few of those. You became very interested. Let's talk about Terrebonne General Medical Center, a very prestigious board, and I think you won it 12 or 13 years?
12 years. Okay. 12 years I served on that board with a number of other mentors of mine. Jimmy DeGate, one of the great hosts here at HTV. Jimmy and I served together, I think, for most, if not all, of those 12 years.
And he's an attorney, by the way.
Absolutely. Mr. Chester Morrison, Mr. Elwood Brady, another terrific mentor of mine.
He's a good statesman.
Great
both
statesman.
gentlemen,
Yes, absolutely. Working with those Mr. Phil Cooper was on that board for a long time with us. And we had continuity of leadership on that board. I was fortunate enough to be able to serve as chairman of the board for 2 years and chaired most of the key committees on the hospital board, and was very proud of the work that we did and the wonderful community hospital that we have here, and working with all of the different physicians, especially those who served as chief of staff. Right. The nursing profession that we have here is second to none. And all of the other people that ran the different departments, I got to interact with a lot of those people. And it was great because, and still is, of course, Terrebonne General is one of the driving economic engines, not only providing terrific health care, for the community, but is a true economic engine for this community. And a lot of other feeder suppliers and service providers are benefited by the success generated by Terrebonne General here as well. So it was very humbling, but also proud moments for me to be able to work as a board of commissioner for those 12 years.
How did it give you an ability to further your education? Because we all know when you go get 2 medical degrees like you did and put all that time in, that you really learn a lot from being on prestigious boards. So you were surrounded by the Elwood Brady's and the Mr. Morrisons and the Jimmy DeGates and the Phil Cooper. So you hear in all these meetings all this input. What did that do for you to further you?
Well, education gives you a knowledge base. It doesn't necessarily give you wisdom. Life experience gives you wisdom. And when you serve with the caliber of individuals that I got to serve with there, Mr. Donald Verrett was another one of the leaders of the school board in Terrebonne Parish for so many years. When you get to serve with those people who have a lot of life experiences, and they get to share some of their knowledge with you, it imparts wisdom. So for me, it helped me as a business person, and it really helped craft me for some of the future leadership roles that I ended up getting that were also pretty awesome in responsibility. Right. And without that background, I don't think that I could have handled some of the other leadership roles that I was able to undertake.
You go to the chamber, and of course we know your role at the chamber now, but didn't start off that way. You were on several committees. You were on natural resources committees. You were in charge of a 1/4 cent sales tax, and we all know when you go to the public for a tax, how taxing that could be on the individual doing it. What did you learn from that?
Well, I learned that the odds are against you in passing any kind of a tax. What we were able to convey, I think, successfully, and I worked with a really extraordinary group of people. It certainly wasn't just me. I happened to have a role on that committee, and that was what we focused on. We were able to convey to the people of Terrebonne Parish that we had to take on some of the responsibility of protecting ourselves. We couldn't rely on just the state or the federal government to protect us, and we needed to show a sign of good faith, and that sign of good faith was taxing ourselves. And it was a close vote, but to pass it on the first time was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Almost self-preservation.
There's no question.
To do it that way.
Yeah.
But to show the state that you're pitching in, and maybe they'll give you a little bit more on the backside.
Absolutely. Correct. Yeah. We had a strong support from my legislative delegation and a lot of the other community leaders. SCIA worked hand in hand with us and did a terrific job of working with us. And then, of course, local media, I think, was very fair. I know you guys are supposed to be as fair and impartial as possible, but you gave us a forum and allowed us to come on. And I know I was here on HTV talking about the 1/4 cent sales tax, as well as meeting with representatives of the Home Courier, the radio stations, and we did our homework and we lobbied very hard for that. And I'm glad we did, because now we're seeing the levee being built.
With the most comprehensive health care available, more people choose TGMC for life. Terrebonne General Medical Center. It all begins here.
The Homestead, Homa's newest and most luxurious assisted living community.
Oh, I have friends all over the place here. I've never seen so many people that interact with each other. And now it seems like I know everybody. But everybody is so friendly, and I enjoy it very much.
For more information, visit thehomesteadweb.com or call us at 985-223-HOME. The Homestead on Cottage Drive. The lifestyle you deserve, the services you want.
Sure, my electric power is pretty dependable. But when a storm's coming, I still worry.
Me too. Me too. Me too. That's why I inspect the lines before the storm hits.
Trim trees year-round. Prepare for the next storm.
I work hard every day.
Every day.
Every day.
I work hard every day to keep your lights on.
But storms happen.
That's why we stay storm ready.
For information on how you can be storm ready too,
visit us at EntergyStormCenter.com. So I can worry less now.
It's our job to worry for you.
That's the power of people. Entergy.
So you're taking on all these extra jobs, but you still have a practice
right
going on, and you still are on national panel. You were president, and I'll probably get this wrong, but you were on two different national boards of chiropractic.
I was
correct?
on it. Well, yes, but I was on a state board.
Okay.
The Louisiana Board of Chiropractic Examiners, which is the regulatory body for the profession. I served 5 years on that board and served as president there. And then was elected to represent Louisiana in the American Chiropractic Association House of Delegates. Mm-hmm. And from within those ranks, I was elected to the Board of Governors, and then ultimately served as president of the American Chiropractic Association.
So really three national levels, if you add them all up.
Well,
one state and three national levels. I'm adding while you're going.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you your due. All right, so you start off practicing in Terrebonne Parish. You move your way up to a state level, then all of a sudden you're sitting there really as not only a spokesperson, but you're trying to, for lack of a better word, continue to sell chiropractic to the American people. We know how far chiropractic has come.
No question.
In a few short years. How tough a job was that to continue making sure it was in the forefront, and that you were also getting the same medical respect as other doctors were?
Well, we've been fortunate in this area. My partners and I for sure enjoy a great working relationship with the medical community.
That is true.
Some of that may be in part because of my years on the hospital board. I think the rest of that is because we pride ourselves on being good clinicians within our office, and we also have worked and served in the community. So we've gotten to know a lot of the leaders in the medical community as friends.
Right.
And when you get to know each other as friends, you can share dialogue. And I believe that they understand where we practice and what we see, and we understand what they see, and we refer back and forth when appropriate. Mm-hmm. So locally, we've been very fortunate in that we have a great working relationship.
But wasn't it early on more or less a trust factor that you had to get past? But now when you go talk to people about chiropractic, it's almost second nature to them now. It's part of their lives, whereas 20, 30 years ago, You have to sell them on it.
Oh yeah. In fact, the July issue of Consumer Report right now says that the American consumer, when they have back pain, other than saying going and getting some Advil or some over-the-counter type medications, chiropractic is chosen first. So for back pain and neck pain type conditions, and for headache also, we rank among the most frequently chosen of treatment methods. So we have come, no question, a long way, and I think a lot of that is because high-profile people use chiropractic physicians on a regular basis.